And speaking of the hurricane, I'll have more on that in just a second. But for right now, here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast for tonight. We're going to be in the upper 60s, lowering into the upper 40s to start off the day tomorrow. It'll be chilly, but not as chilly as the start to next week. I'll tell you more about that coming up in the full forecast segment. And welcome back. Here's a look at the weather headlines in this segment today. Of course, we're talking about Hurricane Milton, its path, its forecast, as well as fall weather is returning. I'll show you when that's coming up at the end of this segment. But for tonight, we're going to be in the lower 50s to upper 40s. It's going to be a chilly start to tomorrow across the area. Both northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. 52 is the forecast. Tonight with mostly clear skies. Now tomorrow it's going to be a little bit warmer than it was today. 80s for northwest Arkansas. If you're in the river area, and welcome back. Here's a look at the weather headlines in this segment today. Of course, we're talking about Hurricane Milton, its path, its forecast, as well as fall weather is returning. I'll show you when that's coming up at the end of this segment. But for tonight, we're going to be in the lower 50s to upper 40s. It's going to be a chilly start to tomorrow across the area. Both northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. 52 is the forecast. Tonight with mostly clear skies. Now tomorrow it's going to be a little bit warmer than it was today. 80s for northwest Arkansas. If you're in the River Valley, we're going to be sitting around the upper 80s for your forecast tomorrow. Now, we're going to be taking a look at Hurricane Milton. I'll show you, just take a look at this massive storm. It's making its way into the Florida Gulf Coast at this time. So we have a lot to talk about. This was a historic storm. It's one of the top 5 strongest hurricanes in the Gulf Basin with a minimum pressure of 897 earlier the last couple of days when it was a Category 5. It is a Category 3 as it's making its way into the Florida coast. In addition to the hurricane impacts with the rain, the storm surge, and the winds, take a look at this. There's been a pretty nasty tornado outbreak for a large portion of eastern Florida, and that's because the eastern side of the hurricane is typically the most dangerous, where you get these multiple tornadoes. And here's a look closer as we zoom in. This is from Fort Pierce all the way to just about Daytona Beach. We have had over 125 tornado warnings issued today in portions of Florida. So our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected by the storm. And of course, the rain is going to be around 15 plus inches for some areas in addition to the other hurricane impacts. So quite a damaging storm. Hopefully it is not as bad as it's been forecasted. For us, here's a look at the extended forecast. The temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days further to the west, it's going to be a lot warmer. And then take a look at this. We are currently in a below average area for those temperatures as we head into the next 6 to 10 days. And we'll show you that with the extended forecast. But unfortunately, we're not talking about any sort of precipitation chances that are going to be greater. In fact, we have well below average chance for precipitation the next 6 to 10 days. Here's a look at my 7-day planner, and I'll show you this again at the end of the show. But take a look at this. Big cold front moves through Sunday night, and then Monday we start off in the 60s, and take a look, potentially lows into the 30s. So you won't want to miss that out. Stick around for the forecast update at the end of the show. And welcome back. Here's a final look at my 7-day planner. With no rain, high fire danger will persist through the remainder of the week, but take a look at that. Early next week, highs in the 60s and lows in the 30s, so it's going to be a great start to next week.